Now, I liked this episode. This episode was really freaking good. The entire mystery behind Shuto in this episode was interesting. We find out that she cannot age, and that she has been living for a very long time, and she cannot die. Now, I don't know exactly what this means. It pretty much says that she has a condition, like a syndrome or something, like Highlander syndrome, but we don't know exactly what she has, but she says that she doesn't know how old she is. She's lost count, so pretty much she's lived for a very long time, and she's probably like 40 or 50 years old, even though we thought she was probably a teenager. So right there, that was just insane. I did not expect something like that on one of these characters of an Assassin's game. So interesting, very interesting to fight for, to be able to kill Haru, to be able to fix her entire syndrome of never aging and never dying. It was really heart-touching how he found out that the person she loved when she was younger left her because he grew up and she didn't, technically in body standards, and so he just left her and went with someone else. And in my honest opinion, that dude is an asshole. Anyone that will leave someone over their physical appearance instead of their actual heart is a dick and an asshole. So pretty much someone left this girl Shuto because she wasn't aging. Are you fucking kidding me? That is an asshole right there, okay? That's the only opinion I have on that dude, whoever left Shuto. We didn't really find out much about him, but we found out his birth date. Even though we knew Haru and Ozumo had been able to get out of this entire situation, everything would have been fine, it was still a very good entertainment episode that I enjoyed all around. It was a good episode, it had a nice good pacing to it, and it was very interesting getting to see how the sensei was trying to do his hardest to make sure that no one else leaves the class, like transfers out. And we see him sneak up with his like clown face. At first I was like, does he know? Is he going to actually prove that he knows something about this assassinations game? At first I thought he was, but then I got disappointed. It was the birthday, but which led into the end of Haru being able to survive. So right there, Sensei actually technically is the major one that saved Haru this episode. Even though Ozma, put in the number, and we had Haru guess the birth date of the friend of Shuto, but it was still pretty much the Sensei that caused those entire events. So my theory, I'm still holding true to that theory. I still think the Sensei is a major key contender of this entire assassinations classroom. I think it's being hid, or he knows something's off, or he'll start to detect something's off because people are constantly fucking transferring out. Speaking of which, we get to see that monitor. I forget that one dick dude, that dude that loves fiddling with fucking dice. I forget his name. Pretty much we see on his computer monitor that each of the assassins that have already transferred out have X's on them. And if I remember correctly, if you're a hitman or an assassin or something, and you put X's on a portrait, what does that usually entitle? Think about that. Doesn't that usually entitle that someone is dead? I said that in the second episode, and I will say it again. I believe when they transfer out, they're actually being killed because the flower is being put on their desk. So besides that, the animations episode is really good. We didn't have really any fighting scenes this episode, which is okay in my regard. Every episode does not need fighting scenes to be able to have a badass episode. Oh yes, and we also get to see a little bit of Yandere in this episode. That was some badass crap, the way she just flips off the fucking teacher like, oh my god, that what? Just, really, this episode, I liked it. It was a good episode. I enjoyed it for the most part. There was nothing really wrong with it. Like I said, my only major concerns with this series is just because of the episode count. They're having to force the character development a little bit too much, and it's not actually going along to where you can connect with all the characters. But there was one epic thing that did happen this episode. We got to see some Yuri romance development. Haru and Ozma kissed. Yeah. They kissed. Well, Haru technically kissed Ozma. So right there, we actually saw for the first time in this series, for the first time now, real romance development between our two main female characters. So right there, good job. We're finally getting some romance development. And honestly, at the same time, it didn't feel forced. It was a good moment. It really did. It was a good moment. The atmosphere was just right for it. And I loved this episode. So tell me your thoughts on it. Did you hate it? Did you love it? What was your favorite moments about it? Do you feel like you wish this series was longer for it didn't have to rush its character development? Let me know in the comments below. I love you all so much. Please be safe. Chibi out.